with David Elm.
Hi, thanks so much for joining me. House Bill 1523, known as the Religious Liberty Accommodations Act, has catapulted Mississippi into the national spotlight. The legislature passed the bill saying it protects freedom of religion. Opponents contend it legalizes discrimination, especially against the LGBT community. And the backlash has just been overwhelming. Here to talk about it, we have LGBT activist and Mississippi Democratic Party official, Renick Taylor. Renick, thanks for being with me. I appreciate it. You know me, I'm kind of a down the middle of the road guy on a lot of things, but I have to be, and you'll be happy to hear this, it's going to be hard for me to do it on this one because I've read the bill from front to back. This thing is a disaster in my opinion. What are your greatest concerns about the implications?
It's the impact of actually passing the bill. The bill is unconstitutional. It violates the Equal Protection Clause in the 14th Amendment, and there'll be a stay issued against it before it ever goes into effect. So don't worry about the bill itself. But Mississippi's image has been severely eroded, further eroded, by this bill on the world spotlight because it's shined a light on Mississippi and not in a good way.
Well, you're not kidding. I mean, we have corporations. We've heard the movie industry is now going to avoid. We could lose some conventions. The casino industry has spoken out against this. So do you wonder sometimes why Mississippi keeps kind of shooting itself in the foot, whether it be with the state flag sometimes or with this particular bill?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, well, I can only speculate, but my speculation is it has something to do with that the state legislature hasn't appropriated those funds yet. So whatever North Mississippi wants right now, they're getting.
Oh, so you're putting this on North Mississippi, and you're saying, folks,
the American Family Association out of Tupelo is the one that is behind this bill and pushing it really hard.
Not just in this state, but in other states.
It's not coast values. It's not.
And so we had Democrats on the coast vote against it. We have one Republican, Scott, because the coast delegation is worried about this BP money being spread out across the state, that they kind of gave in to Speaker Gunn's wishes?
Yeah, a stronger word would be extortion. But yes, that's exactly what I think is happening. No, there's no proof of that, just some circumstantial evidence that I happen to put together. But there's something going on. This has been the worst year for Mississippi legislation in a long, long time. They have passed one bad bill after another.
Here's where
Mississippi does.
Here's where I'll play devil's advocate. You know, there are a lot of conservatives on the coast who say, not necessarily with this bill, but with other things, that this hasn't been the worst.
We've been through this before. In the 70s, we had a gay bar on the Strip in Biloxi. The coast has been through this. We've had people living this. We've been out in this area for years, for decades. Like I said, since I was growing up in the 70s. So this isn't the coastal values. I tell you, you want to know how Republicans should be acting? You should look at Scott Delano and Fofo Gillich and see, Fofo condemned the bill before it was passed. When it was passed, he got a resolution to the Biloxi City Council condemning it and saying that we will protect our citizens against discrimination, and then he said he wasn't going to enforce it. That's how we should be acting.
And not only Mayor Gillich in Biloxi, but we also had Harrah's and the parent company Caesars come out. MGM, out of Las Vegas, owners of Beau Rivage, came out against it as well. But that's the one problem, the only problem I have with the backlash on that is it does bother me a little bit to have these bans, boycotts, and what I call corporate bullying a little bit.
Well, no. The corporate structure are just protecting their own interests. They rely on tourist revenue coming into the coast, and anything that is going to degrade tourist revenue, that is going to drop tourist revenue, is their enemy. That includes this bill.
Okay, so let's take it for the example everyone gives is the baker, the caterer, the photographer who doesn't want to participate in a gay wedding ceremony. What would you say? I mean, would you want to go into a baker who wasn't willing to take your money? Wouldn't you just go down the street to the next guy who would?
Yeah, you'd worry about the status of the cake, right? What worries me more, is the circuit clerk's office. If I go into a circuit clerk's office and they say, I'm sorry, you're going to have to come back some other time when somebody's here that approves of your marriage, they've done harm. They violated the 14th Amendment, and that is against the law.
They violated their oath. They took the office.
To uphold it, right. Yeah. So that is real damage and real harm.
It is destined for court and will likely be overturned. I think everybody's safe in assuming that. But I think we wish we had more time. Thanks for being with us, okay?
Thank you.
We'll continue to follow this story. And remember, we encourage you to comment on all of our stories on our website. That doesn't include Facebook, of course. Just go to WMLX.com. Tell us what you think.